Welcome to the 8 to 5 Web Minute, and today we're talking about what white glove service actually means for your small business website.
It's a term you hear a lot. And today we've taken a stack of sources comparing these different website service models, everything from massive agency proposals to, the smallest DIY subscriptions.
Right.
Our mission here is to really cut through the noise and figure out what matters for local business owners. So we're going to explore why avoiding that DIY headache, it might just be the most valuable investment you make this year.
And how that translates into actual profit. I saw a number that really jumped out.
It does. It's how that time-saving service can boost your profits by up to 95%, according to the research we analyzed.
95%. That's the kind of number that really commands your attention, especially if you're running a business in, say, Pismo or here in Arroyo Grande.
For sure.
We hear white glove all the time. Movers use it, high-end car washes. Let's start with where it comes from, because I think the origin story really defines what you're actually buying.
Yeah. And what's fascinating here is that the definition is, it's literally rooted in protecting valuable things. The term comes from the old tradition of butlers.
Okay.
Or, high-end service staff wearing actual white gloves when they were handling delicate or easily damaged items. Think silver, antique porcelain.
So they wouldn't leave fingerprints.
Exactly, preventing fingerprints. The gloves had two purposes. First, the practical one, no smudges, no dirt. But second, and this is the important part for us, they were symbolic.
A symbol of what?
They showed a level of just extreme, meticulous care that went way beyond the minimum of just handling the item. Use a visual promise of perfection.
So if we translate that to the digital world, to a website, it means preventing the fingerprints of what? Errors and troubleshooting and stress from ever touching the business owner?
Precisely. It's a premium, completely done-for-you kind of engagement.
Yeah.
You're not just contracting for a task like building a site.
Yeah.
You're paying for the total absence of effort on your part.
And the guarantee that it just works.
The total guarantee of flawless operation. You get all the results without ever having to learn the complicated systems running underneath.
That immediately makes me think about the other models out there. You've got the DIY model, your Wix, your Squarespace, where you are everything. You're the architect, builder, and the maintenance crew.
Right.
And then you have the traditional full-service agency, which usually means big setup fees and long contracts.
And that's the critical comparison triangle that all the sources point to. DIY is cheap, but it requires the maximum effort and knowledge from you.
Yeah, all your time.
The agency is low effort for you, but it's extremely expensive and often comes with that huge contract lock-in. White glove managed service, it sort of tries to find that sweet spot in the middle.
So high value, low effort, and predictable, approachable pricing.
And that's the goal.
Okay, let's break down that done-for-you promise. For the owner of, let's say, a local bakery in downtown San Luis Obispo, what does zero effort actually look like day to day?
It really just translates into pure time savings and total stress reduction. The first promise is you never log in.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. You never have to deal with a confusing dashboard. You don't have to learn some proprietary system. You don't need to remember a separate password for hosting, for backups, for your domain. All those little technical details, they just vanish.
I can literally hear a sigh of relief from our listeners. That back-end anxiety is a very real thing.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Which brings up the second critical promise.
Oh.
Zero troubleshooting. If something breaks, and believe me, on the internet, things always break eventually. From plug-in conflicts to security issues, you are completely insulated from that panic.
Okay, but hold on. Let me be skeptical for a second. Every hosting company promises support, right? They all have ticket systems, a chat bot. If my site goes down on a Saturday morning, how is white glove troubleshooting any different from me submitting a ticket to some giant national company?
That is a crucial distinction. When you submit a ticket to a giant system, you're just a number in a queue. You might talk to 3 different people who don't know you, your business, or your site's specific setup.
And you have to explain it over and over.
Right. With managed white glove service, you're paying for direct, simple communication with the person who actually knows your site. You send one email or you make one call, you say, hey, my contact form is broken, and it just gets fixed immediately. You never have to Google that cryptic error code that's popping up.
So it's the difference between them handing you a repair manual versus having your trusted mechanic just come to your garage and fix the car while you, I don't know, drink coffee.
It's a perfect analogy. And that leads right into the third promise. Zero maintenance stress. Updates, security patches, backups. They aren't just available for you to do. They are done for you. completely behind the scenes.
So I don't have to spend 5 hours trying to figure out why my WordPress site broke after the latest update.
Exactly. Because someone else already handled the whole process, guaranteed it would work, and tested the backups. Your website simply works. All the time.
And what about a simple content change? I run a small plumbing company. I hire a new apprentice. I want to update the Our Crew page.
Simple communication. You send an email, maybe a text, make a quick call, and that update happens often within hours. You don't have to block out time to open your laptop, find the right image sizes, and fight with a text editor.
You focus on plumbing.
You focus on running your plumbing business. The website manager focuses on the website. And this brings us back to the real core value here, which is time.
Yeah, as Central Coast business owners, we're all wearing 20 hats every single day. And website maintenance is often the most frustrating one because it's not billable, and frankly, we're bad at it.
And that frustration, it's actually quantifiable. The data we reviewed, it paints a really clear picture. 80% of Americans report facing technology frustrations daily.
Daily, not once in a while.
Day in, day out, just trying to navigate tools that don't quite work right.
Just trying to keep the lights on in a modern business.
And it gets worse. Researchers found that poorly functioning technology, like a slow website, a broken link, a payment glitch, it can literally double your stress levels.
Double. Wow.
You didn't start your Vineyard or your tax prep service to become an IT expert. You did it to pursue your passion. And all this tech anxiety is just draining your energy and adding to your workload.
Okay, let's get to the numbers that I think surprise people. The hidden costs of DIY. A free or, a low-cost website builder, it seems like the smart budget move at first. What are the real costs we're not seeing?
The initial price tag is so deceptive. First, you pay for hosting. That's maybe $10 to $30 a month. Then you need paid plugins for essential functions like SEO or forms, which adds another $15 to $50.
Right.
Then you need security. You need backup solutions, another $10 to $50. Suddenly, before you've even counted your time, you're easily spending $35 to $150 a month just to keep the lights on.
And that's assuming nothing breaks.
Exactly. And when something inevitably breaks, you either pay a freelancer an emergency hourly rate, which can be anywhere from $75 to $200, or you spend your own time. And this is the core question for every business owner. What is your time worth?
Let's make that math real. If I'm a successful contractor in Santa Maria, my billable rate is maybe $100 an hour, but let's say I value my personal time at $50 an hour.
Okay, so if you spend just 5 hours a month, which is a pretty conservative estimate if you're managing updates, security, and troubleshooting.
Yeah, that seems low.
That is $250 a month in hidden costs, just based on your personal time value.
Yeah.
Now, think about when you spend that time. It's usually on a Sunday night. You're stressed out, trying to fix some plug-in issue.
5 hours a month stressing in front of a computer when I could have been estimating a new job, closing a sale, or, hiking with my kids up in Los Osos. That $250 is the price of my sanity.
It is the real cost of DIY. And if those 5 hours could have been spent on billable work, that $250 immediately becomes $500 in lost opportunity. Not even mentioning the psychological toll. The free option quickly becomes the most expensive one.
So the whole argument shifts from it being an expense to being a measurable ROI, or return on investment. You mentioned that incredible stat earlier, boosting profits by up to 95%. How does a better website actually do that?
It all comes down to reliability and retention. Our sources show that businesses that provide this kind of elevated, consistent white glove service see a 25% higher customer retention rate.
And retention is way cheaper than acquisition. We spend so much money chasing new customers.
We do. And consumer behavior completely backs this up. 81% of consumers surveyed said they would willingly pay more for a better experience. They prioritize convenience and a smooth interaction over just finding the absolute lowest price.
So if your website is slow, buggy, or out of date, it sends a signal to the customer that your actual business might be unreliable too.
It's a direct reflection. The reliability of your website builds trust. Now, about that profit boost, that 25 to 95% figure, that comes from long-term business analysis. It shows that just increasing your customer retention rate by a mere 5% can boost your company's total profits by anywhere from 25 to a phenomenal 95%.
That is massive. So investing in a reliable, managed website isn't just about reducing your stress. It's a retention strategy that directly hits the bottom line, maybe more than any other marketing thing you could do.
It is the ultimate retention tool. I mean, think about it. If your competition's website is always fast, always updated, and easy to use, and yours is neglected because you're too busy, where is that customer's loyalty going to drift?
To the path of least resistance?
White glove service just ensures your site is always operating at its peak, always demonstrating reliability.
Okay, here's where I need to push back a bit. We get so caught up in features and tech. If I hire a big agency, I can get the flashiest site with all the bells and whistles. Why does the relationship matter more than the features?
Because people buy with emotion and then they justify with logic. The data is so clear on this. 70% of the entire buying experience is based on how the customer feels they are being treated.
70%.
It's not about the latest animation on your homepage. It's about the feeling of confidence that your business is stable, professional, and accessible.
So a simple, fast-loading website that's always supported and just works perfectly is, in reality, more valuable than some complex, feature-rich site that's always breaking or has zero human support.
Unequivocally, yes. Customers who are loyal, who feel cared for, they are worth up to 10 times their first purchase over their lifetime. When you pay for a managed service, you're essentially paying for a human relationship.
The relationship.
The assurance that a dedicated person picks up the phone, knows your business, and handles your updates today, not next week. That relationship is the single most valuable feature you can buy.
That really reframes the whole conversation away from technical specs and onto customer experience. Okay, let's make this actionable for the person listening right now, maybe driving down the 101. How do they know if this managed white glove approach is the right fit for their business?
We put together a quick checklist. If, say, 3 or more of these points resonate with you, it's very likely the right solution. First, you absolutely dread the dashboard.
Okay.
The sheer thought of logging into your website to fix or update something just triggers anxiety.
That's number one for a lot of small businesses, I bet.
Second, if your site has been pretty much untouched for years, simply because you don't have the time or the know-how, but you know it desperately needs updates.
The digital cobwebs are gathering.
Exactly. Third, if you've been burned by a disappearing freelancer, someone who built you a complex system, collected their check, and then just vanished, leaving you stuck.
A very common story in the local market. What's next?
Fourth, if you value your time above all else, you recognize that every hour you spend on your website is an hour you can't spend on billable work or with family, and you want that time back instantly.
And the final, critical point.
If you just want one real human to call, not a confusing outsourced ticket system or a chatbot, but a person who knows your name and your business. If you check 3 or more of those boxes, a managed white glove service is tailor-made for you.
And we should be just as clear about when this is not a good fit. It's not for every business model.
Absolutely. If you genuinely enjoy building websites, if tweaking code and learning new plugins is like a fun hobby for you, then keep the DIY approach. You don't need this.
Right.
It's also probably not the right fit if you need heavy enterprise-level e-commerce. We're talking hundreds of products, complex inventory, custom APIs that really requires a much larger custom system.
And finally,
if budget is truly your only consideration, if getting the cheapest possible price, regardless of the time and stress it costs you, matters more than anything else, then managed service might feel too premium. It's about value and convenience, not just the lowest sticker price.
a great deep dive. So if you've been nodding along about the hidden costs of your website, we have a provocative thought to leave you with. How many profitable customer relationships have you already lost this year because a technical glitch on your site made you look unreliable?
That's the quick tip for today.
If you want a professional website without the agency price tag or the DIY headache, here is the better way. At ugrow.pro, we build it, we manage it, and we handle every update forever, all for just $79 a month.
There is zero setup fee, no contract lock-in, and it is strictly month-to-month, so there is zero risk. We're local here in AG, and we can have you live in days, not months.
Want to see what your site could look like? Go to ugrow.pro right now, and we'll design 3 custom mockups for your business, completely free, no strings attached.
Thanks for listening, and keep growing.